The Galactic Council chamber buzzed with the collective consciousness of 1,000 species, each representing civilizations that had conquered stars and bent reality to their will. At the center of the crystalline amphitheater sat the Vraxian High Commander, his forearms crossed in a gesture that transcended species. Impatience. The humans, he announced, his voice resonating through translation matrices, continued to position themselves in the rear observation decks during joint military operations. This cowardice must be addressed. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the assembly. The Calthrine ambassador, a being of pure energy contained within a magnetic field, pulsed with indignation. We have given them positions of honor, frontline formations, command bridges, yet they always retreat to the back. For 3 cycles, humanity had been the newest member of the Galactic Defense Coalition. They were weak by galactic standards. No natural armor, no telepathic abilities, no capacity for photosynthesis or radiation consumption. Their ships were crude, their weapons primitive, and their bodies fragile. The Council had accepted them out of pity, a charitable gesture toward a species that had barely escaped their own solar system. Captain Sarah Chen listened from her position at the back of the human delegation, her face impassive. Beside her, Ambassador Marcus Webb shifted uncomfortably in his seat. He'd heard this complaint before. Perhaps, offered the Jikari representative, its crystalline form refracting light into rainbow patterns, the humans lack the courage of elder species. Their position is understandable given their limitations. Sarah's jaw tightened, but she remained silent. Marcus cleared his throat, preparing to offer another diplomatic explanation, but Sarah placed a hand on his arm. "Let me," she whispered. She stood, and the chamber's attention reluctantly shifted to the human captain. She looked small among titans, a creature of flesh standing among beings who could survive in the vacuum of space, who could see across dimensions, who had evolved for warfare across millions of years. "Honored Council," Sarah began, her voice steady. "You ask why humans sit in the back. You assume it is fear. You assume it is weakness." She paused, letting the translation matrices catch up. "You've never asked us directly, so I'll tell you." The Vraxian commander's mandibles clicked with amusement. "Enlighten us, fragile one. 3 months ago, during the Korthos incursion, your frontline ships engaged the enemy immediately. You charged forward with the certainty of your superiority. You lost 47 capital ships in the first wave." The chamber fell silent. "The human vessels," Sarah continued, "remained in the rear. We watched. We calculated. We observed how the Korthos shields polarized against your plasma weapons, how their ships moved in fractal patterns, how their command structure relied on a central hive node." She pulled up a holographic display. 18 minutes into the battle, we transmitted new targeting solutions: kinetic weapons, low-frequency disruption, asymmetric attack vectors. Your casualties dropped by 73%. The Calthrine ambassador pulsed uncertainly. "Tactical support is commendable, but during the siege of Praxis 7th, Sarah interrupted, her voice growing stronger. "Your species landed troops on the surface while the planet was still under orbital bombardment. Your warriors are mighty, immune to most toxins, capable of regenerating limbs with reflexes 100 times faster than ours. You lost 8,000 soldiers to friendly fire and environmental hazards before engaging a single enemy." She advanced to the center of the chamber, and for the first time, the elder species saw something in the humans' eyes that gave them pause. It wasn't fear. It was something far more dangerous. Human troops landed 48 hours later. We'd mapped every artillery trajectory, calculated blast radiuses, identified safe zones, and established communication protocols that prevented a single friendly fire incident. We lost 11 soldiers. We completed the objective. The Vraxian commander's posture shifted slightly. "You are suggesting that observation is superior to strength?" "I'm suggesting," Sarah replied, "that humans learned something during our evolution that many of you forgot during yours. We were prey before we were predators. On our world, we weren't the strongest, the fastest, or the most armored. Everything hunted us, so we learned to watch, to wait, to think." She gestured to the assembled species. "You evolved for direct confrontation. Your ancestors were apex predators on worlds where strength meant survival. You charged forward because for millions of years that's what worked. But humans, we survived by sitting in the back of the cave, watching the predators, learning their patterns, and making plans." The chamber was utterly silent now. When the Zarthal swarm attacked the Kepler station last week, Sarah continued, her voice quiet but carrying to every corner of the vast chamber, your species saw 1 billion enemies and calculated acceptable losses. You were prepared to sacrifice the station and 3 million civilians to stop them. She pulled up another display showing the battle. The human destroyer Indomitable was in the rear. Captain Rodriguez watched for 47 seconds before firing a single missile, not at the swarm, but at the gas giant behind them. The resulting chain reaction in the planet's atmosphere created an electromagnetic pulse that disabled 96% of the swarm's navigation systems. The station survived. Every civilian lived. Ambassador Webb stood beside Sarah now, his earlier discomfort replaced with quiet pride. You call it sitting in the back. We call it overwatch. You see cowardice. We see perspective. The Jikari representative's crystals dimmed thoughtfully. The humans compensate for physical weakness with strategic patience. No, Sarah corrected gently. We don't compensate for weakness. We weaponize observation. While you're fighting, we're learning. While you're charging, we're calculating. While you're dying, we're finding the solution that saves everyone. She looked directly at the Vraxian commander. You asked why humans sit in the back. It's because that's where we see everything. That's where we process, adapt, and find the angle that no one else considered. Your species charge forward because you can afford to. You're mighty. You're powerful. You're almost invincible. Sarah's expression hardened. Humans sit in the back because we can't afford to waste lives on brute force. Every human who dies is a father, a mother, a child. We don't regenerate. We don't respawn. We don't have millions of drones. Each of us is unique and irreplaceable, so we learn to fight smarter because we can't fight harder. The silence stretched until the Vraxian commander slowly rose to his full towering height. For a moment, Sarah wondered if she'd gone too far. Then incredibly, he bowed, a gesture no one had ever seen from the proud warrior race. The council, he said slowly, has been short-sighted. The humans will remain in their chosen positions, and perhaps the rest of us should learn to appreciate the view from the back. As the session adjourned, Sarah returned to her seat in the rear of the human delegation. From there, she had a perfect view of the entire chamber. From there, she could see everything. And that, she thought with a slight smile, was exactly the point.